Ever dreamt of investing in the Canadian stock market, but you're not actually in Canada? Maybe you've heard about Questrade, a popular online brokerage, and you're wondering if it's an option for you. Well, you're not alone. This is a question I get asked a lot, so today we're diving deep into whether Questrade is available outside of Canada. Now, before we jump into the specifics of Questrade, let's quickly understand why this is even a question. Online brokerages, just like any financial institution, operate under strict regulations. These regulations vary significantly from country to country. Think of it like driving. The rules of the road are different in the US compared to, say, Japan. Similarly, what's allowed for a brokerage in Canada might not be permitted elsewhere. This means that a brokerage operating in Canada must comply with Canadian regulations, but if they want to offer services to residents of another country, they also need to adhere to that country's regulations. This often involves obtaining licenses and meeting specific requirements, which can be a complex and costly process. This is why many brokerages choose to focus on their domestic market. It simplifies things from a regulatory standpoint. It's easier to manage compliance within one set of rules rather than juggling multiple international regulations. So, with that context in mind, let's get to the million-dollar question. Can you use Questrade if you're not a Canadian resident? The short answer is generally no. Questrade primarily focuses on serving Canadian residents. Their services, platform, and regulatory compliance are built around the Canadian market. Now, I know this might be disappointing for some of you, but it's important to understand the reasons behind this. As we discussed earlier, regulations are a major factor. Questrade is regulated by the Investment Industry Regulatory Organization of Canada, IIROC, and is a member of the Canadian Investor Protection Fund, CIPF. These are Canadian regulatory bodies that oversee and protect Canadian investors. Extending their services internationally would require navigating a whole new set of regulatory hurdles. Another factor to consider is taxation. Canadian tax laws are different from those in other countries. Questrade systems are designed to handle Canadian tax reporting and compliance. Offering services to international clients would involve adapting their systems to accommodate various tax laws around the world, which is a significant undertaking. Furthermore, there are practical considerations like customer support and currency exchange. Questrade's customer support is primarily geared towards Canadian clients, operating within Canadian time zones and often providing support in English and French. Serving international clients would require expanding their support infrastructure to cater to different languages, time zones, and potentially different service expectations. Currency exchange is another critical aspect. While Questrade does offer some US dollar accounts, their primary focus is on Canadian dollars. International clients would likely need to deal with currency conversions, which can involve fees and fluctuations. So, we've established that Questrade isn't readily available outside of Canada. But what if you're a Canadian citizen living abroad? This is a slightly different scenario. If you maintain strong ties to Canada, such as owning property, having a Canadian bank account, and filing Canadian taxes, you might still be eligible to open an account. However, this is on a case-by-case basis and you would need to contact Questrade directly to discuss your specific situation. They will assess your connection to Canada and determine your eligibility. Now, let's talk about alternatives. If you're outside of Canada and looking to invest in international markets, including Canadian stocks, there are several international brokerages that cater to a global audience. These brokerages typically have the necessary licenses and infrastructure to operate in multiple jurisdictions. Some popular examples include Interactive Brokers, TD Ameritrade, though note their recent merger with Schwab, and eToro. These platforms offer access to a wide range of global markets, often including Canadian exchanges. When choosing an international brokerage, there are a few key factors to consider. First and foremost, check their regulatory status. Ensure they are regulated by reputable financial authorities in the jurisdictions they operate in. This provides a level of security and protection for your investments. Secondly, look at the available markets and instruments. Make sure they offer access to the specific markets and assets you're interested in trading, whether it's Canadian stocks, ETFs, or other investment products. Thirdly, consider the fees and commissions. Brokerage fees can vary significantly, so compare the fee structures of different platforms. Pay attention to commissions on trades, account maintenance fees, currency conversion fees, and any other potential charges. Fourthly, evaluate the platform's features and usability. A user-friendly platform with robust trading tools and research resources can greatly enhance your investing experience. Finally, consider the customer support offered by the brokerage. Look for a platform that provides responsive and helpful customer support in your preferred language and time zone. So, to recap, Questrade is primarily designed for Canadian residents and is generally not available to those living outside of Canada. This is mainly due to regulatory, tax, and practical considerations. However, Canadian citizens living abroad with strong ties to Canada may be eligible to open an account on a case-by-case basis. For those outside of Canada looking to invest internationally, several international brokerages offer access to global markets, including Canadian stocks. When choosing an international brokerage, consider their regulatory status, available markets, fees, platform features, and customer support. It's also important to remember that this information is for general knowledge and discussion purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Always consult with a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decisions. The financial landscape is constantly evolving, so it's crucial to stay up to date with the latest regulations and offerings from different brokerages. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.